Welcome back! Ang pag-aaralan naman natin ngayon, tutuloy natin ang discussion kung ano yung mga characteristics ng series connected resistors and parallel connected resistors. So, umpisahan natin sa mga series resistors and voltage division. Ito yung mga kailangan nating tandaan kapag ang circuit natin ay series siya. Ibig sabihin, we have elements that are cascaded or connected sequentially. If that is the case, they carry, okay? They carry the same current. Next na kailangan natin tandaan, kung kukunin natin yung total resistance or yung tinatawag nating R equivalent, okay, ng lahat ng resistors na nasa series circuit natin, ang kailangan lang natin gawin is to add, okay? Add lahat ng mga resistors natin na yon. And then last is ito makakatulong sa atin. If we want to get the voltage drop across each resistor, we can use this voltage divider principle or voltage divider equation. It says that the voltage drop to a specific resistor, let's say that is V sub n, that is equal to the resistance of that resistor divided by D, okay, this is the total or the R equivalent of the circuit multiplied the voltage source. Okay, ano ibig sabihin ng mga yan? So, for example, we have this is single loop circuit, okay? Meron tayong voltage source dito. This is connected in series kay R1 and isa pang load natin which is R2. Okay, we have I here na magpo-flow. So, yung I na magpo-flow sa ating circuit ay parehas lang sa magpo-flow kay R1 and R2. Meaning to say they have same amount of I. We can get I actually by means of Ohm's law, since I is equal to V over R, the source, and R is the total, okay? The total or the equivalent resistance. So we can redraw the circuit into this. So yun pa rin yung source natin. Pinag-isa na si R1 and R2 by getting the R equivalent, okay? And then single loop pa rin siya. Okay, how we can get R equivalent? So that is the second characteristic of series circuit. R equivalent is equal to the sum. Okay, kung gaano man karami yung connected na resistor sa isang circuit at gusto natin kunin yung equivalent resistance, all we have to do is to add, okay, all those resistances connected in that circuit. Therefore, yung R equivalent natin na gagamitin is substitute lang natin yung makukuha natin dito, substitute lang natin dito to get the total current. The total current that will flow in the circuit, okay, is equal to the current na magpo-flow kay R equivalent, which is also equal na magpo-flow na current sa R1 and R2. Now, ano pa yung kailangan nating makuha? Next na madalas makuha sa mga circuit problem is yung voltage drop. Okay, we have a source. Ito yung magsusupply ng ating energy or power sa system natin. So, itong source na to, magkakaroon kasi siya ng, magbibigay siya ng mga energy. Okay? Yung ma-absorb na energy ng mga loads natin. Meaning to say, madi-divide siya kay R1 and R2. But, yung pagkaka-divide na, we cannot tell that unless we will use yung value ni R1 and R2. We can use the voltage divider principle. It says that if we want to get V sub 1, all we have to do, ito yung ano natin, fraction kasi. Ito yung partition, okay? Kung paano madi-divide yung total voltage, okay? So if we want to get V sub 1, all we have to do is multiply, okay, yung quotient ni R1 over yung R equivalent. So this is R equivalent, okay? Then multiply by the source. And then, if we want to get V sub 2, okay, palitan lang natin yung numerator. If we're talking about resistance or yung resistor 2, palitan lang natin siya ng R2. And then, same pa rin yung denominator natin, which is also the R equivalent, times the voltage source. So, ganun lang. Madali siyang tandaan. Kung hinahanap yung specific voltage drop sa isang resistance, ang nasa numerator ay yung resistance 1. Okay? So, for V sub 1. Kung V sub 2 ang hinahanap, yung nasa numerator yung R sub 2. Okay, and then denominator, yung mga total resistance na, and then multiply by the voltage source. Okay. In terms of conductance naman, okay, the equivalent conductance in a series circuit, all we have to do is to substitute yung ating equivalent na equivalence ng resistance to conductance. Since R is equal to 1 over G, we can substitute this equation to our equation 2 kanina, yung characteristics ng series circuits. Okay, yung R sub 1 plus R sub 2, okay, plus that up to R sub n. Okay, we can substitute this. Ang makukuha natin ay yan. Now, proceed tayo sa parallel resistors and current division. So, ito naman ang kailangan nating tandaan, okay, kung ang circuit natin ay parallel connected siya. Okay, parallel, two or more elements are in parallel if they are connected to the same two nodes. Okay, and kung sa series, ang common ay current, ang common naman sa parallel connected circuit ay yung voltage across them. Okay, next, ano pa yung kailangan natin tandaan? Yung equivalent resistance naman ng mga resistors connected in those parallel branch is equal to 1 over R equivalent is equal to 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2 plus kung ilan mang resistors ang nandun. So, ang makukuha mo, if we substitute, okay, values of R1 up to R sub n in this equation, ang makukuha natin is 1 over R equivalent. To get R equivalent per se, ang gagawin mo is to get the reciprocal of this, or that is 1 over R equivalent. So, in that case, magiging R equivalent siya. Okay, tandaan ha, kapag sinubstitute and you use your calculator, ang makukuha mo is not the R equivalent. You have to divide yung nakuha mo dito, okay, from 1 para makuha mo yung mismong R equivalent. For example, we have this resistors, okay, ito yung node natin, tama, connected yung dalawang resistors natin in parallel. Ito yung source natin. Okay. Ang una natin kailangan tandaan is paano kunin yung R equivalent. Meron actually tayong shortcut kasi yung kanina, okay, medyo matagal siyang i-input sa calculator. Although carry naman, mabilis lang naman to, but we have another formula to get the equivalent of R1 and R2. Ito applicable siya sa dalawang resistors. Kung madami yung mga connected resistors dito, halimbawa meron ka pa dyan, and another one, you can use this formula 2 resistors at a time. Okay? Kunin mo muna yung dalawang resistors, for example, ito binura. Okay? Kunin mo muna yung R3, this is R4. Kunin mo muna yung equivalent nito, R equivalent 1, let's say. Tapos, after mong gamitin yung formula, kunin mo yung equivalent ni R2 at saka R equivalent 1, so R equivalent 2. So, ang matitira na lang si R1 and R2, and then makukuha mo yung R equivalent total. Okay, ganun siya. You can use this formula 2 at a time, pero kung gusto mong minsanan, you can use the previous formula discussed earlier. So, ano yung formula na to? Ito siya. Okay, R equivalent is the product. Okay, actually, it is the quotient ng product sa numerator, product ni R1 and R2. Okay, product ni R1 and R2 divided by the total ni R1 and R2. So, kaya nga sinabi ko, we can use this 2 at a time na resistors muna. And then, kapag nakuha mo yung total sa dalawang branch, kunin mo ngayon yun, i-combine mo siya sa susunod. Okay, so, ito yung kanyang derivation. Next na mapapansin natin, hindi pare-parehas ang current dito. So, if we have a total current that will enter this node, this is node A, okay? So, magkakaroon ng division yan sa dalawa. So, mapupunta yung isang part kay R1, yung isang part naman kay I sub 2. So, ano yung equation natin dyan? So, yun yung tinatawag natin current divider principle. So, this is the equation. So, I1, yung current na dadaan kay R1, okay, that is equal to R2, okay, over the sum of the resistances. Si I2 naman, yung current na dadaan kay R2, that is equal to R1 over the sum of the resistances multiplied by the source ulit. Kasi, I mean, not the source, but the total current. Okay, kasi madidivide nga yung total current sa dalawa. So, dun sa voltage divider principle natin, kung ano yung hinahanap V sub 1, dapat yun yung nasa numerator na resistance, R sub 1. Pero, in current divider principle, hindi siya yung case. Okay? Kung ano yung hinahanap, I1, so ang nasa numerator mo yung nasa kabila, R2. Tandaan yun ha. Tapos kung ito ang hinahanap, yung nasa numerator mo is yung R1. Okay, so yun yung isa pang characteristic ng ating parallel resistors. Next, ano pa? Ay, nasan na? Nawala. Ano pa yung characteristic? Yung isa ay yung voltage across each resistors. Yung voltage drop dito, V sub 1, at saka yung voltage drop dito, V sub 2, ay parehas lang. Kanino parehas? Parehas siya sa source. Okay, so ayan siya. Ayan. Ayan yung, so this is the voltage source, that is V sub 1 equals V sub 2. Okay. Now, if we will get the equivalent conductance of resistors connected in parallel, again, sa-substitute lang natin yung ating equation for resistance sa conductance, yung reciprocal niya, and we will get this. The equivalent conductance in a parallel connected resistors is this one.